Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again. Today we're doing something completely different. While this channel is generally 100% about heavy metal, today I'm going to be switching gears a little bit, just a one-off kind of thing. Going to be talking about my 10 favorite fantasy book series. So this is just an opportunity for me to nerd out a little bit. I do have a little bit of a nerdy side outside of heavy metal. Obviously I'm a big music nerd, but I also like to read. And yeah, fantasy books, definitely my favorite genre. Obviously a lot of influence for tons of heavy metal bands, so I'll kind of give some shout outs as I go through these series on maybe some bands that have been influenced by these works, maybe either lyrically or with their band names. But yeah, this is just to have a little bit of fun. I don't even know if there's any interest out there with my viewers to even see a video like this, so we'll see. This could be a one-off that I never talk about again, or if a lot of people are into this kind of stuff, then maybe I'll do some other videos kind of about this as well, or about other topics like my favorite movies or favorite TV series, a bunch of different stuff. But for today, we're just going to talk about my favorite 10 fantasy book series. So a lot of these book series, there's tons of books within the series. I'm only going to hold up like one book from the series, because otherwise I'm going to have like hundreds of books lined up beside me. But yeah, definitely go check out these whole series, and I'll just get into it and count down from 10 down to 1. So up first in 10th place, I'm going with Terry Goodkind. And the Wizard's First Rule is the first book in this series. What is the name of the actual series? I guess it would be The Sword of Truth. That's what it's called. Just blanked my mind there for a sec. But yeah, this one is coming in 10th place. I feel like it started out very strong. The first few books in this series are very good. But yeah, it did kind of get weaker and dragged on a little bit as the series went on, became a little bit even more far-fetched. But nonetheless, it's a pretty enjoyable one. I haven't read this one in years, to be honest, but I did read the whole series previously about 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I can't remember. And it's definitely enjoyable, but yeah, we'll get into even better stuff, but definitely still worth checking out. Up next at number 9, I'm going with Robin Hobb and the Farseer, the Apprentice Trilogy. This one is Assassin's Apprentice. This is the first book in the series. And I guess it's actually called the Farseer Trilogy. But yeah, she's done a bunch of different trilogies, some of them tied together with this as well. But this essentially is all about an assassin in training, and it's a pretty cool one overall. Only 3 books, so you can rip through them pretty quickly. But yeah, definitely go check out Robin Hobb if you have not. Up next at number 8, more of an underrated one, going with David Keck and the Tales of Durand. This is another trilogy, a more recent one. This is the first book in the Eye of Heaven. It's, yeah, only a trilogy, like I said, but I feel like this one doesn't get enough praise. It's very well written. The prose is well done. I can't even speak, so don't listen to me. I can't write this kind of stuff. But yeah, very enjoyable one. If you're into fantasy and have not read this series, recommend you go check it out. Up next, I'm going with Brandon Sanderson, and well, this one is The Way of Kings, but this is the Stormlight Archive series, which is still ongoing. It's only 4 books in of a 10 book. It's planned to be 10 books. With Brandon Sanderson, there's a few different series I could have picked here. He's very prolific, puts out a ton of different books. The Mistborn trilogy was really good. He's got some standalones as well. But yeah, the Stormlight Archive is shaping up to probably even rise higher on this list. But I've really enjoyed the first 4 books in this series as well. And yeah, definitely go check this out. They're lengthy books, but yeah, it's worth diving into for sure. Up next, the legend Michael Moorcock with the Eric of Melnibone series. So many books here. I have the editions, the Elric Saga. They've kind of combined a bunch of the older books into larger volumes, which is more digestible and easier to obtain. You'll notice here the cover is the cover of the Cirith Ungol album, Frost and Fire. Every album they put out had a cover from this series. And yeah, tons of bands have been influenced by this. I mean, you've got Cirith Ungol, Manila Road, just to name a couple. But yeah, you'll hear like lyrics about Elric in so many different bands, whether it's power metal, traditional metal, black metal, like it's all over the place. But this series is very well done. It's a classic for a reason. Yeah, he's got his black sword, Stormbringer, which is absolutely amazing. Steals souls from people. Really cool stuff here. Genre defining, you could say. But yeah, awesome stuff here. Up next, we're going with another series that is yet to be finished, and that is Patrick Rothfuss with the Kingkiller Trilogy. So far has only been 2 books, and it has been over 10 years since the last book. This is the debut in the series, The Name of the Wind, and then there was The Wise Man's Fear as the second book. The third one, I believe it's called The Doors of Stone, is yet to be written, so I can't put this higher than this right now, but these first 2 books are absolutely amazing. I really wish he would go on and finish this third one already, but yeah, this is just legendary stuff in the making. Absolutely amazing. If you have not read these books, do yourself a favor and go check them out. Okay, now into even better stuff. So of course Tolkien's gonna be here. I'm showing The Hobbit, but of course read The Hobbit, The Silmarillion, and Lord of the Rings. Obviously, all-time classic. I mean, this could even be #1 on the list for today. I kind of lost track of my numbers here. What am I at, number 4? Yeah, I think I have this at number 4, but the numbers don't really matter. All of these are just amazing. But yeah, I don't really need to talk about this. There's so many bands that are influenced by Tolkien's works. I mean, you've got like all the black metal bands, pretty much every black metal band, Gorgoroth, Summoning, every single album is about Middle-earth lore. It's just absolutely amazing the impact that Tolkien has had, not just on heavy metal, but just in terms of fantasy books as well. I should not even just compare all this to what the impact is on heavy metal. This is a fantasy book video. So yeah, just obviously a legend. Tolkien needs to be on this list. Up next, another legend in the making, George R.R. Martin with the Game of Thrones, or A Song of Ice and Fire. This is the most recent book, A Dance with Dragons. And of course, this is another author that just is not finishing the books. Obviously, it's famous for the television series surpassing the books, but then ending very poorly. But these books are all absolutely amazing. They're way more in-depth than the TV show. There's way more characters. The stories are more fleshed out. So I really hope we eventually get the actual conclusion to this series as opposed to just the TV series, which I did still really like, but the ending was a little bit of a letdown. But yeah, books-wise, absolutely amazing stuff here. Up next, another one that they've recently made a TV series of, and that is The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. So this is the first book here, The Eye of the World. There are, I believe, 15 books, including like a prequel. I think there's only 14 in the main series. But yeah, absolutely amazing stuff here. It's a very long, drawn-out story. Maybe some of the books in the middle slow down the pace a little bit. I know some people have said they get a little boring, but I absolutely love this. I've read it twice, and it's probably even better the second time. You capture all these additional details that you might not the first time. The Amazon TV show I thought was pretty well done. Not necessarily true to the books, but I'm looking forward to season 2 when it drops. But yeah, nonetheless, Wheel of Time, all-time classic, has to be in there. So that just leaves one, and this is very easy for me. My favorite fantasy book series is the Malazan Book of the Fallen by Steven Erikson, and also all the other series that are along with it, like the Ian Esselmont series, so I'll kind of get to that. This is Gardens of the Moon, the first book in the main 10-book series. This is so epic in scope. It's just next level stuff. This isn't just my favorite fantasy book series. This is my favorite book series of all time. I'm on like my 4th reread of this right now. And yeah, just absolute amazing stuff. In terms of heavy metal, there's starting to be bands that are coming out inspired by this. Like Caladan Brood is one of the characters in this series. So it was really cool that when Caladan Brood dropped their Echoes of Battle album, I was like, okay, as soon as I saw the name, like, I'm checking this out, and it turns out that it's one of the best albums ever as well. I ordered a shirt from the band, and it says on the return address that I'm getting it from a fictional character, Caladan Brood. That just was really awesome, nerding out there. But yeah, so the main series, there's 10 books in the Steven Erikson series. Then you've also got the companion series by Ian Esselmont, the novels of the Malazan Empire. I believe there are 6 or 7 books in this series. This was the concluding one, A Sail. Then you've also got Steven Erikson's prequels trilogy, the Kharkanas trilogy, with something like this. Fall of Light is the second book in that. This one is not completed yet. The concluding chapter in the trilogy is yet to be released, but absolutely amazing stuff. Then you've also got Ian Esselmont's prequel series, the Ascendancy trilogy. which is complete, but I believe he's putting up more books kind of in line with this. This one is Dancer's Lament, the first book in that trilogy. And now Steven Erikson is also working on a sequel trilogy, the Tales of Witness. This is basically a sequel trilogy to the Malazan series, all about Tolkien, which I won't get into too much if you haven't read the series. I don't want to ruin anything, but yeah, this is the first book and only book that's been released in that series. So yeah, I mean, my bookshelf is basically full of Malazan just between all these series. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, this is just to have a little bit of fun, do something completely different here today, talk about some books I love, and hopefully get some recommendations from you down below. If you're into fantasy books at all, let me know some series I didn't talk about, maybe some stuff for me to check out. Obviously, I've read way more than just these 10 series. There's a lot more on my bookshelf that I'm just not showing today. But nonetheless, always love to get some conversations going. Give me some recommendations, some new stuff to check out. I'm always into that. And otherwise, yeah, just let me know your comments on these series. If you've read any of them, I'd like to get some conversations going there too. So yeah, until next time, I know this was a different kind of video, not really metal related, but go give me a subscribe anyways. And yeah, Hammerheart Metal Reviews, out.